Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we are back. And we have the first UFC pay-per-view of the year. It is good to have fights back. We are coming off the last UFC fight card, which was exactly how I hoped it'd be. It was a not very hype card, had some pretty poor matchups, but ended up being a very fun card overall. I'm going to be straight with y'all. This is the exact same way with this fight card. It's not the greatest. It's not as bad as people are making it out to be. Some people are saying it's awful pay-per-view card. Like they're equating it to the last Canadian card. No, that card was bad. This card's okay. It could be a little bit better, but the main problem is we don't have a lot of really good Canadian fighters that we can shove on these cards. But oh well. It's hopefully going to be a solid card with some fun fights. Like, I'm telling you all right now, the co-main event, I have a feeling, is probably going to be a lot better than we expect, and I feel the main event's probably not going to be as good as we hoped it would be. But regardless, let's get into it. First fight on the card is going to be Malcolm Gordon versus Jimmy Flick. Really setting the stage for quality of fights, really setting the bar. We have probably the bottom level tier that this is a low level flyweight fight. Malcolm Gordon and Jimmy Flick are not that good, both coming off losses. Malcolm Gordon coming off losses to I forgot I even fought Jake Hadley. I forgot about the Muhammad Mokaev fight, but yeah, he's just not all that. And Jimmy Flick was last knocked out by Costa. Yeah, neither guy is going to be super high level, to be honest with you. What you're mainly going to look at is Gordon striking is very weak. Jimmy Flick is very flat-footed, but he's got good BJJ. He is going to be the better grappler overall. The main problem, though, is Jimmy Flick retired. Jimmy Flick straight up retired and then came out of retirement. Yeah, anyone who retires, their heart's not in it. They're not in it. They don't care. They don't want to keep going. And it's just not something I really would like to bet on. But also Malcolm Gordon's garbage. I don't want to bet on him either. I want to say garbage, but he's not the best. So give me Jimmy Flick by decision. But don't bet on this fight. Jazz Davicius. Oh my god, I can't say her name. Versus Priscilla Cachoeira. This is also a fight where I'm pretty sure if you could bet a point gets deducted, you'll probably get. No, I'm kidding. But yes, Priscilla Cachoeira, she's a little bit more dirty of a fighter. Ever since that godly beatdown she took from Valentina Shevchenko back in the day before she was a champ, Priscilla Cachoeira took years off, came back, and she's been a more so middling fighter, to be perfectly honest with you. Meanwhile, Jasmine, she's not the most exciting of a fighter, but she's still decent. She's pretty good, really good takedown defense, and she's also shoots a lot of takedowns. This is definitely going to be a fighter more in the... This is going to be a fight that's going to take place more in the clinch, going to take place on the ground. Priscilla Cachoeira as well, too. We see she's not the best on the ground. She's really a stand-and brawler, but even then, she's not the best of stand-and brawlers, to be honest with you. So, I don't like this for Priscilla Cachoeira, to be perfectly honest with you, but I also don't think Jasmine has really good finishing intent. So, I'm going to be leaning towards decision. I really think I'm going to be leaning towards decision, but I think that is a solid pick overall. Potentially a good parlay piece once I get a chance to check the odds. Minus 380. That's as decent a parlay piece as going to get, to be honest with you. Johan Lainus versus Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson's decent. He's decent, but he's been cracked before in the Contender Series. I've seen him take some good damage, some good shots, while Johan has some really good power. So I don't like leaning the side of Johan, to be perfectly honest with you, but just looking at it, that's basically going to be it, man. This fight is not going to be a super higher level fight, to be honest with you. As you see, Johan mainly lands by KO, and he's KOs at a pretty good clip, but either guy's really top tier in terms of quality. They'll probably get better in the future, but yeah, give me Johan by KO. And now on to the prelims, which so far doesn't get much better, to be perfectly honest with you. Julian Robertson is going to be taking on Poliana Viana. All right. As well, too. Not a insanely high-level mega elite matchup. Again, they need to get some Canadians on the card. Jillian Robertson, she's okay. She's not the greatest, but she's going to be the better grappler than Viana. Viana is going to be a better striker. So it's a striker versus grappler matchup. You're really going to see Jillian Robertson probably initiating clinch strikes and trying to get to the ground, while Viana's going to try to box her head off. But she does have some slick BJJ. I don't want to say slick isn't like really good, but slick isn't. It's not horrible. It's not bad, but ultimately it's not anything that you're really going to be wanting to jump at the gills for to really bet on Viana. I believe Robertson. Yep, Robertson is pretty solid favorite at minus 245. That makes sense. I think the grappling advantage is going to greatly outweigh the striking advantage that Viana has. So give me Jillian Robertson to win this fight. I'm going to go by decision, but I think a submission is very likely. I was really torn between submission and decision because Viana is not the best to defend submissions. She's slick BJJ in terms of getting submissions, but in terms of defending against them, I might want to go with Jillian Robertson by submission, but regardless, submission or decision is most likely for Jillian. Sarah Hayes Sydney is going to be taking on Ramon Tavares. I don't know why they're rematching. Yes, these two have fought before. It is a controversial decision, but Sydney had won, in quotation marks. I say quotation marks because it was controversial, against Tavares and had won by KO. Tavares, he has only lost by, I believe, KO, to be honest with you. Yep, he's only lost twice by KO. He's 9-2, by the way. The records are not accurate here. It's 10-1 on Sydney's part and then 9-2 on Tavares' part. And Sydney had knocked out Tavares before, so that's what I'm going to be leaning towards in this one. It's their UFC official debut. Both guys are decent fighters overall. They scrap and they bang, but ultimately it's nothing really high level, to be honest with you. Both guys are just power hitters. Power hitters in the bantamweight division are a dime a dozen, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, just ring things, just go off the first fight. So he puts on more pressure and he has a higher, I'd say, higher damage, to be honest with you, while Tavares has more volume. So give me Sydney again to get by knockout. It's sad that it took us this long to get to an actual decent fight in the card. It really is. I'm sorry, but these the first 5 fights are not that good. Finally, we have a solid matchup. Next one's decent too. We have a solid matchup. Charles Air Jourdain is going to be taking on Sean Woodson. Sean Woodson has one of the weirdest body types and styling in the UFC, but it's very effective, and I've doubted him plenty of times before. I don't know if I really want to doubt him again. Charles Air Jourdain is a very exciting and fun fighter, but in terms of like super good, we've seen a ceiling. We've seen how far he can go. We saw in the Shane Burgos and Nathaniel Wood fights, while they're very, very, very fun fights, we kind of saw the best of what he has. And then beyond that, he took on Crone frickin' butt Scoot Gracie and Ricardo Ramos. That's not high level competition. Sean Woodson, on the other hand, hasn't really fought a lot of those high level guys yet, but he's pretty solid. He beat Bazooka, which I totally had Bazooka winning that fight. He beat Zalal as well too. He's solid, he's decent, and the main thing about him is he's able to keep you at a distance. Charles Jourdain is losing so much in height and reach that he can get picked and prodded and just ripped apart by Sean Woodson at distance. I do like Jourdain's digging to the body, and I like his striking better overall. Woodson can be a little bit awkward with his striking. It's a very hard one, to be honest with you. I want to pick Charles Jourdain, but part of me is thinking Sean Woodson takes it. It's really a coin flip for me, to be honest with you. Though, let's see what the odds have it. I'm pretty sure the odds don't have it as a coin flip. The odds have Charles Jourdain as a slight favorite. I'm going to be honest with you. I really thought they were going to be picking Woodson. I really thought that I was going to be the only person picking Charles Jourdain, but I'm going to go Charles Jourdain by decision. Because again, Woodson, while he may have the reach, he may have the length, again, he could be awkward. Whilst Charles Jourdain, if he gets on the inside, his inside boxing and body shots can absolutely piece up Sean Woodson. And we're going to go to the last fight of the prelims. A pretty solid fight. Why is he still in his tough gear? But all right, Brad Katona is going to be taking on Garrett Armfield. Garrett Armfield's decent, but Brad Katona has so much experience. Coming off the Ultimate Fighter where he won it twice. Yes, he won the Ultimate Fighter twice. He has a ton of experience. He's only really lost to one guy who's okay, Hunter Azure, and then Merab Dvalishvili. As much as I don't like Merab Dvalishvili, he is an excellent fighter. He is an elite level fighter. And of course you're going to lose when you just start spamming takedown after takedown after takedown and gets only one or two of them. But neither here nor there. He just, beyond that, he scraps. Brad Katona scraps so well. His last fight against Cody Gibson for the Ultimate Fighter finale was a solid banger of a fight. I like his leg kicks. Garrett Armfield, on the other hand, I don't like much about him. I think he has a reach advantage, and that's definitely going to play a part. I know he has a reach advantage. I know that's definitely going to play a factor into it. But I just think Katona's solid in all aspects. I think he has the better striking. I think he has more power. So I'm going to be taking Brad Katona. Only problem is Armfield's tough, and Katona doesn't have a ton of finishing instincts, which leads me to have Brad Katona winning this by decision. Picked a lot of decisions. A lot of decisions, and I think it's only going to continue from here on out. If it especially is going to be continuing from here on out, because now we're going to be going to my slides. Not you. We're going to be going to now the breakdown of the main card in the first fight. It's going to be a featherweight matchup between Arnold Allen and Movsar Evloev. Arnold Allen's going to be 29 years of age, 19 wins, 2 losses, 7 knockouts, 4 submissions, 5'8" in terms of height, southpaw stance, 70-inch reach, disadvantage, a 1.12 takedown average, a 44.28% significant strike accuracy, plus 145 underdog. Significant wins over Calvin Kattar, Dan Hooker, and Sadiq Youssef. Facing him is going to be Movsar Evloev. 17 wins, not a damn loss. None. That is correct. Yes. 3 knockouts, 4 submissions, 5'7" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 72.5-inch reach advantage, a 4.52 takedown average, a 62.84% significant strike accuracy, minus 175 favorite. Significant wins over Diego Lopez and Danny Gay. So, the reason why I paused when I saw his record of knockouts and submissions, if you don't know, Movsar Evloev does not have a single finish in the UFC. All of his fights have went the distance. Arnold Allen himself is not much of a finisher. You finished to the ghost skeleton of Dan Hooker at featherweight. Calvin Kattar busted his knee, and beyond that, tons of decisions. 1 submission, tons of decisions. Arnold Allen has crispy striking. To be honest with you, I really like his striking. Meanwhile, Movsar Evloev, a lot of people really are known for his grappling. His grappling is his main thing, and that's going to be his main bread and butter. It's going to be his main weapon in this fight. But he has very high volume striking. He has very high volume striking. He's constantly throwing. He's striking more than he's hitting out. But he's attempting more strikes at a higher clip than Arnold Allen is. He's landing more than Arnold Allen is, and he's taking less than Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen, while I think is a very solid fighter, I think Movsar is just going to be a better fighter in most aspects of the game. I just think Allen has better, cleaner striking, not as much volume, but cleaner. And I think Allen has more power, but Evloev is going to get this to the ground. He's going to be landing a lot of shots in the ground, and it's going to be a very tough fight for Arnold Allen. We've seen Arnold Allen. We kind of seen his ceiling. He did well against Max, but That was one of the worst versions of Max we've seen. Max looked really slow, really haggard. He didn't have the same volume that he normally did, and he was still able to just piece apart Arnold Allen. I think Movsar Evlev will take him apart, but instead of dissecting him in the striking realm like Max Holloway did, he's going to dissect him more so in the grappling realm. So I'm going to be leaning towards Movsar Evlev. The one thing is, oh God, please teach this man how to sink in a rear naked choke. Please teach this man. Like, he has good volume. It's not like he's a lay and pray, contrary to popular belief. It's just he doesn't have good finishing instincts. It's like he gets in those spots where he can absolutely finish someone. He just doesn't know what to do. And I don't think he's going to be able, like, Arnold Allen is not the guy where it's just going to click and, oh, I know how to finish this man. Arnold Allen's too good for that. And I think he'll win. I think Movsar Evlev will win. But I think it's going to be another decision. And I'm going to be taking Movsar Evlev. And I think it'll be a solid fight. This is definitely one of the highest level fights we have on the card, to be honest with you. And this is definitely a fight I'm interested in. Will it be an exciting fight? Probably not. But I'm interested in it. And then the next fight is going to... Wrong way. And then the next fight is also going to be a very interesting fight. Chris Curtis is going to be taking on Marc-Andre Barriault. Now, this is going to be interesting because it's going to be more exciting. This is not going to be a super high level fight, to be honest with you. It should probably be lower in the card, but it'll be more exciting of a fight. Chris Curtis is going to be 36 years of age, 30 wins, 10 losses, 17 knockouts, 1 submission, 5'10" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 75.5-inch, reach advantage, not a goddamn takedown to his name, 52 and 0.7 significant strike accuracy, a -170 favorite, significant wins over Joaquin Buckley, Rodolfo Vieira, Brendan Allen, and ya boy, Phil Hawes. Oh boy, Phil, poor Phil. I think Curtis was the OG person to steal Hawes' chin. Marc-Andre Barriault. I pronounced his name horribly last card. He's going to be 33 years of age, 16 wins, 6 losses, 10 knockouts, 1 submission, 6'1" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 74-inch reach disadvantage, a 0.24 takedown average, a 50.85 significant strike accuracy, plus 140 underdog, significant wins over Eric Anders, Julian Marquez, and Jordan Wright. This is going to be a stand and bang. Chris Curtis, he is known for stand and bang. We've seen his ceiling. We've seen the high level of him. The fact they got beaten box up, but Kelvin Gastelum got then demolished by Sean Brady, who was demolished by Blomkamp. We've seen the level of Chris Curtis. But he's fun. He's fun to watch. He was losing his last fight before no contest against Nasruddin Imavov, who's decent of a fighter, but like, again, we've seen his ceiling. We've seen him get his ass beat by Sean Strickland, the champ, and Chris Curtis, his best buddy. But unlike his other buddy, Chris Curtis, oh boy, he knocks, he swings, he bangs, he definitely gets knockouts, and he has a ton of power. Not the same level of striking acumen of someone like Sean Strickland, but Chris Curtis has a ton of power. Marc-Andre Barriault, as you can see by his low takedown average, he is also a striker. He is a brawler. Both these guys throw at pretty high clips. They throw at 5 strikes landed per minute, and they take a lot of punishment. These are swing and bangers. I'm going to be leaning towards the swing and banger who I feel has the better chin and better striking, which is Chris Curtis. I feel Chris Curtis has more power. The only thing is he can get kind of lulled into it if his opponent gets into a little bit of a lull. I just don't think Marc-Andre Barriault is going to be the guy to do that. But if he does, you could then actually not easily, but the key to Chris Curtis is just strike at him with distance and just pick him apart with clean strikes from the outside. You just got to do that and you can take him out. Everyone who fights Curtis and loses to him tries high pressure out voluming him. Like Joaquin Buckley was trying to take his head out, trying to make it a dogfight. Curtis was eating like 18-piece combos, and Buckley left himself exposed, and Curtis chinned him. I feel like it'll be very similar with this fight, to be honest with you. I think Marc-Andre is going to fight very similar to Buckley did, but he's going to be taller, and that's really it. And then I think Chris Curtis, honestly, going to probably chin him. I don't see a way this fight really goes the distance. I'd be shocked if it did. I actually believe, didn't Monica Andre go the distance his last fight. Yeah, he went the distance his last fight. And I think I even said, oh, wow, I don't think this fight's going to go the distance. So watch it do. Watch it go the distance. But tentatively, I'm going to say the fight probably doesn't. And I'm going to be leaning towards Chris Curtis for the KO. And I think it's going to be a sloppy brawl. And I think it'll be a fun one to watch. Next fight is going to be Neil Magny taking on Mike Malott. Jesus Christ, these damn Canadian names. It's going to be a welterweight matchup. Neil Magny's going to be 36 years of age, 28 wins, 12 losses. He's going to have 7 knockouts, 4 submissions, 6'3" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 80-inch reach advantage, a 2.22 takedown average, a 58.50% significant strike accuracy, plus 250 underdog. Significant wins over Phil Rowe, Daniel Rodriguez, Max Griffin, and Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal's a good win to have. Mike Mallett's going to be 32 years of age, 10 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. He's going to have 4 knockouts, 6 submissions, 6'1" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 73-inch reach disadvantage, a 2.52 significant strike accuracy. He's going to have a 46.36% significant strike accuracy, and he's going to be minus 310 favorite. Significant wins over Adam Fugit, Johan Lenius, and Mickey Gall. Lanus. Not much to say about this fight, to be perfectly honest with you. Neil Magny's too old. He may have the most wins in the UFC welterweight division, but his last showing against Ian Gary could have finished him any point, but just wanted to really beat him up. I hated that. I had just the fight doesn't go distance, but all right. But he looked really bad as leg kick defense. He looked really bad as head kick defense. Mike Malott is more so boxing heavy, but he's boxing heavy in terms of striking, but his main aspect is grappling. Mike Malott is a very good grappler, tons of submissions to his name, and Neil Magny, he loses by submission too. Neil Magny got absolutely floored by a Gilbert Burns, because submitted by him easily, and he gets submitted all the times. His long limbs don't help him. I feel they are actually intrusive a lot of times when it comes to him trying to avoid these submissions. So I'm going to be leaning towards Mike Malott to get it done by submission, to be perfectly honest with you. I definitely don't see this fight going the distance. The main thing is just Neil Magny's aged and withered too much. His main thing too, when it comes to striking, is just a really good jab. He's got a really good jab. He picks at you from distance. And the thing is, that could pose a big issue for Mike Malott with his significant reach disadvantage. But if he gets up close, it's a wrap for Neil Magny. Okay, and the next fight is going to be the co-main event of the evening. Raquel Pennington is going to be taking on Mayra Bueno Silva for the vacant women's bantamweight title. Yes, this is going to be the belt that Amanda Nunes relinquished back in, I believe, June or July. Damn, it's been a while, actually. Man, when did she give up that belt? Okay, it's been quite some time. I think it was actually before June or July. Regardless, it might have been May. Regardless, Raquel Pennington and Mayra Bueno Silva are going to be fighting for the belt. Not the most exciting names. I get it. I'm going to be honest, women's MMA is not in the best spot. And this being the co-main event doesn't really help. Honestly, this probably would have been better if you put another title fight or something and made this a third. But regardless, Raquel Pennington is going to be 35 years of age, 15 wins, 9 losses, 1 knockout, 4 subs. Do you see what I'm talking about here when I'm saying it's not in the best of spots? 5'7" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 67.5-inch reach advantage, a 0.93 takedown average, a 57.75 significant strike accuracy, plus 145 underdog. Significant wins over Ketlin Vieira, Aspen Ladd, Irene Aldana, and Miesha Tate. Mayra Bueno Silva is going to be 32 years of age, 10 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. It's going to be 1 knockout, 7 submissions, 5'6" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 66.5-inch reach disadvantage, orthodox stance, 66.5, 0.35 takedown average, a 62.22% significant strike accuracy, and then minus 175 favorite. Significant wins over Holly Holm, Lena Landsberg, and Stephanie Edgar. I want to get out something off my chest. That home versus Brian Bruno Silva card, I did a stupid parlay where I bet every single fighter to win, and that's the only one I got wrong. That was a 12-leg parlay I missed. Or 13. 12 or 13, I missed by 1. I missed by 1. No, it wasn't even a parlay. It was a round robin, I think. No, it was a parlay. Regardless, I missed it. I was very, very upset. Very, very upset. And it was turned into a no contest. But it was turned into a lot of people are commenting, why is she fighting for the belt now? It was turned into a no contest because of her ADHD medicine. Cool, I guess. Regardless. Raquel Pennington is a really good fighter, but the main thing is her main method is really clinch striking. Even though she's not really she doesn't really take to the ground, as you can see by her takedown average. The main thing about her is, oh boy, she loves them clinch strikes. 33% of her strikes are going to be from the clinch position. Foot stomps, elbows, yeah, galore. But that's not going to really fly when you're going up against a Mayra Bruna Silva, who is a very highly aggressive pit bull. She can be a very exciting women's MMA fighter. It's just that she has very poor decision making, and a lot of times where it really matters. We saw this in her fight against Mananfior. Mananfior was able to just pick her apart overall, but then again, that was at the lower weight class. Now at the bigger weight class, she's not cutting as much, she's not killing herself as much, and she's doing some solid damage, having some solid power into it. Her grappling, like offensive and defensive grappling, is very solid standing. She doesn't take the fight to the ground as much. She honestly should, because her BJJ is very good. 7 submissions with a 0.35 takedown average. It's our club and sub, or someone goes in, charges at her, and she just gets a ninja choke, a la what Edwards did to Colby Covington. It's nasty. It's really nasty. Mayra Bruna Silva is a pretty solid fighter. She could definitely be an exciting new breath into this division. It's just that, again, she doesn't have the best of dance partners. I definitely think Mayra Bruna Silva is going to win this fight, but it could either be Silva just bulldozes her, or it could be Raquel Pennington really extends and drags out the fight. She's not much of a finisher, as you can see, having 5 finishes across 15 fights. Not the best. Meanwhile, Mayra Bruna Silva has 8 finishes across 10 fights. You like to see it. You really love to see it. I like Bruna Silva's power, striking, and everything, but I do think Raquel Pennington is better defensively. Everything offensively, Mayra Bruna Silva is better, but I think Raquel Pennington's better defensively in all aspects, grappling defense and also striking defense. So I think this will be a fight where really Raquel Pennington's gonna stall it out, but I don't know. I'm gonna be leaning towards Mayra Bruna Silva. I'm gonna take her by sub. I think she's gonna get the sub on Raquel Pennington. I definitely think Raquel Pennington's gonna try clinch up with her, probably get the reverse takedown slammed, and then subbed. That's gonna be my pick. Oh boy, and now on to the extremely controversial main event of the evening. I said controversial because boy, these people hate each other, and nobody knows if the other fighter is good or not. Despite these guys both beating the 2 most dominant welterweights of the last 10 years or so, neither guy really, everyone is fully sold on, which is so funny to me. Some people are like, nah, Dricus is ass. Nah, Strickland's ass. Strickland beat Izzy. Dricus beat Whitaker. Neither guy's ass. They're elite. As much as it surprises me to say so. But regardless, let's break it down. This is going to be the middleweight title fight. Defending champion Sean Strickland. It's going to be 32 years of age, 28 wins, 5 losses, 11 knockouts, 4 submissions, 6'1" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 76-inch reach. They both have the same reach. A 0.92 takedown average, a 43.78% significant strike accuracy, -140 favorite. Significant wins over Israel Adesanya. And then it kind of falls apart. Nasruddin Imamov, Jack Hermanson, and Brendan Allen. I'm not putting Abus. He's a bum. I overrated him. I'm not putting him there. Dricus Du Plessis is 30 years of age, 20 wins, 2 losses. I'd like to mention Dricus Du Plessis 9 knockouts, 10 submissions. He has went the distance once against Brad Tavares. Yes, he's went the distance once. That is the very definition of finisher. I believe that's 96%. 6'1" in terms of height. They're the same height too. Switch stance, 76-inch reach, same reach. 2.72 takedown average, a 57.99% significant strike accuracy, plus 120 underdog. He's significant wins over Robert Whitaker, Derek Brunson, Darren Till, Brad Tavares. All solid wins except for probably Tavares. That win is not aged the best, but yes. So I'm gonna get right into it. I think the odds are good. This is a very close fight. Either guy can take it, but I think Dricus Du Plessis is gonna be the winner. I think people are not looking at Sean Strickland and how he is. They're looking at who he beat, Israel Adesanya, yes. But people are saying he ran through Israel Adesanya. He jabbed him to a decision. He does that always. Outside the first round where he knocked him down and dropped him. First guy ever do that. Amazing. But then he fell into the same old Strickland fight, which works against Israel Adesanya, who's exclusively a counter-striker. He didn't get any opportunities to counter-strike, and Israel Adesanya is a back foot fighter. Sean Strickland's defense is best when it's offensively used because of his Philly shell and his sort of like, I don't know how to describe it. When he strikes, he doesn't strike like traditionally. He strikes flaring his arms out to parry shots. His defense on the front foot is excellent, best in the division. I believe he has the best significant, he has one of the best significant strike defenses, I believe. No, never mind. I overrate it, but he has very good significant strike defense. He's very good at his defense, 63%. He does not, I thought it was way higher. I thought it was like 80, like Islam, for example. But it's really hard to hit cleanly when you let him fight on his front foot. That's the thing. Dricus Du Plessis is the worst matchup for Sean, second worst matchup for Sean Strickland, because Dricus Du Plessis is a forward pressure power puncher. Do you know what happens when Strickland fights forward pressure power punchers? Do you know what happens? He loses. Who are the last forward pressure power punchers he faced? Both of which he lost to. Jared Cannonier. It was a close fight, yes, but that was because Cannonier, while he is a forward pressure power puncher, he does lull himself. He does lull himself a lot. He like kind of fights to his opponent's level. We saw this in the Izzy's fight. Not opponent's level, but opponent's pace, which could ruin him. But then we saw in the Marvin Vettori fight where he finally got out of that funk, and we saw what he did to Vettori. Nobody had done. Still can finish him somehow. But then who else is a forward pressure power puncher that Sean Strickland fought? What happened in that fight? Now, is Dricus Du Plessis the same level of kickboxer as Alex Pereira? No, but he has won plenty of kickboxing championships. Does he hit as hard as Alex Pereira? No, but he does have 9 knockouts. All I'm saying is literally the kryptonite to Strickland is going to be Dricus Du Plessis. And people are not really looking at that. They're just looking at Strickland's last performance, not realizing as a bad matchup. It's a good matchup for Strickland, bad matchup for Izzy, and Eric Nixick is an excellent coach. Meanwhile, Dricus Du Plessis, a lot of people look and say, oh, he's so sloppy. Oh, Whitaker was never that good. No, Dricus Du Plessis had the perfect style to counter Whitaker, because Whitaker's style is relatively similar to Sean Strickland's, where Sean Strickland is a guy who hits you with a 1-2 and he point fights you. Yes, he's a point fighter. Robert Whitaker is a guy who hits you with the karate blitz jab and he point fights you. His only other special shot being that high kick, that jab into the high kick. Both were weapons that Dricus Du Plessis was Dricus Du Plessis was able to negate because of his forward pressure and power. Deceptively good in grappling as well too. You don't look at it, but he has 10 submissions. Very good grappler. And one thing is, Dricus Du Plessis, I'm not super familiar with his coach, but they study very well. Hence why I was able to accurately predict that Whittaker fight and the Darren Till fight. Because do you know how he beat? I'd like to mention this. How he beat Robert Whittaker and how he beat Darren Till were both ways how they were hurt or beat in their last fights. In the fight against Darren Till, he subbed him, and he literally subbed him the exact same way Derek Brunson did. God damn it, I had it pulled up. I want to pull up a more. And he knocked out Robert Whittaker or dropped him the same way Jared Cannonier and Darren Till did. Because he studies it. He really does. He rocked Robert Whittaker with a forward powered southpaw jab. He has more power for his right hand, but he changed that, altered that, and he timed his karate blitz to have just Whittaker ran into it. It was not a power shot from Dricus. He put power into it because of power hand, but most of it was Whittaker just ran straight into it. He got the timing down. And then Darren Till, he knew Darren Till cannot handle back pressure when he's on the ground. He got Darren Till's back, never let go, and then he was able to get the choke, and he's freakishly strong. He is far stronger than Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland's main advantage is going to be he is the better boxer, yes, offensively. On a back foot, Sean Strickland's defense just completely evaporates and it dissipates, and it turns into him flailing his arms, both in his Israel Adesanya fight, his Cannonier fight, and also his Jack Hermanson fight. He has this awful habit of, if you push him on the back, he starts flailing his arms. Israel Adesanya made fun of it in one of his interviews. He didn't capitalize on it or do anything about it in his fight against Strickland. But that's the thing. If Dricus Du Plessis can just run at him and just do that, he's going to start flailing, and a same side combo is what will get him. A same side combo is going to be super susceptible against Sean Strickland. And guess what I saw Dricus practicing in the countdowns? Same side combinations. What do I mean same side combinations? He launches an orthodox, launches a right hand, right kick. Same thing that Gaethje used to knock out Dustin, Oliveira used to knock out Saryukin, and Leon used to knock out Usman. It's becoming meta. Like the calf kicks became meta years ago. This is new meta. I saw Weasel do a video on that. But I think that's a very good weapon for Dricus Du Plessis. Sean Strickland can catch him on his entries. He can absolutely catch him on his entries, but he hasn't shown power, knockdown power. He's knocked down Israel Adesanya, but other than that, he's not knocking guys out. He's not going to be knocking out Dricus, who I've seen take some big bombs from Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson's not the best of fighter, but Derek Brunson, he hits hard. He hits hard. And Dricus Du Plessis, a lot of people really, really overrate his cardio issues. Yes, he gassed out in Tavares' fight, and he was still throwing insane volume in the third round. Yes, he gassed out in the Till fight, and he was still throwing insane volume in the third round. And that was, then he fixed his nose, and we didn't even see him have any issues against Robert Whittaker because he didn't even need to go that far. I don't think this fight's going to go far. It can. If it does go far, Strickland wins. Strickland is going to definitely be able to piece him apart because I definitely think Dricus' cardio is probably going to not last very long. But keep in mind, when I say if it goes long, it needs to go in the 5th round. That's the only way I've seen Strickland winning. But Dricus, he's dangerous. Absolutely pure dangerous for finish rounds 1, 2, 3, and then 4, not as much, but still. And I just think 5 is when the danger's finally dissipated. Strickland, his coach, is too smart to just give up after that point. But that's the thing, man. The way you're just yelling at Izzy when Izzy wasn't doing anything, you start doing that against Dricus, Dricus is gonna catch you. But I just really think that this is not going to be a close fight for either side, but it's going to boil down to the matchup. And I really think that Dricus Du Plessis is going to be the one who wins this fight just due to the style. He has freakish power. And one thing as well to mention, people say Strickland is an insane volume striker. Oh my God, he's volume. Dricus Du Plessis has more volume. Dricus Du Plessis also has a better striking accuracy. And then again, I'm gonna say it one more time for those in the back. Strickland is a point fighter. He is a decision point fighter. Stop deluding yourself that he's not. Point fought against Izzy. He knocked out Abu's unranked. Point fought Imamov. Point fight Cannonier. Knocked out by Pereira. Point fought Hermanson. Point fought Hall. Point fought Jodko. Knocked out Allen. That's a good win. That's a good win. It's aged very well. It was a younger Allen. I get it. But Allen's okay now. He's not the best, but he's that's a good win. Like, it's just literally Jack Marshman. It's literally gonna be point fighting. He's only knocking out these super low level guys, but even then, man, Usman beat his ass back today. I watched that live. I remember that fight. At this very core, Strickland fights too much behind a jab, and he just wants to point fight the person decision, and he's only going to go for a finish if he really senses it, but you need to be halfway dead for him to go with that, and he doesn't have a ton of power. Compared to Dricus Du Plessis, who's very powerful, I really see he's going to catch him within the first 2 rounds. I really think he's going to knock about round 2. I don't think he's going to knock about round 1 like Pereira did, but I really feel the fight's going to go very similar, so... My official pick is going to be Dricus Du Plessis by knockout. I'm highly confident in that. I really am. I don't think he's going to submit him. I did mention Dricus's submission game, but Sean, apparently, we haven't seen it, is really good on the ground. A lot of people have said it to a point where I think, okay, he's probably solid with his jiu-jitsu. I don't think the fight's going to go to the ground, though. I don't think it's going to go to the ground. If it does, Dricus is probably going to disengage really quick when he realizes Strickland's grappling is probably too much for him, but... I think he's going to beat him up on the feet. Give me Dricus Du Plessis by knockout. And once again, this has been your boy Gomi. Please let me know what you think in the comment sections below. I've been seeing a lot of discourse and argument about Strickland and Dricus. And oh god, I know it's probably going to be a battle start in the comment section below. But trust me, believe me, I've gotten every Dricus Du Plessis fight right. I think I'll get this one right. So, once again, it's been your boy Gomi. Bye-bye.